McFatter Technical High School students and parents. It is Thursday, March 18th. We are here, of course, with your weekly update for McFatter Technical College and Technical High School. I am Jeanette Johnson, the director and principal here at McFatter. With me, as always, are the assistant principal in charge of our high school, Mr. Daryl Harris.
Hello there.
And our magnet coordinator, Miss Lily DeCastro.
Hi, good afternoon.
Great to see both of you here on this last day for students before spring break. We, of course, have a planning day tomorrow, but today is the last day of the third quarter for our students. And we had some things to talk with you about, mostly looking at some things that will be going on when we come back from break. So we wanted to go through those. And so the first thing we want to talk about is, of course, testing season is upon us. We've already been doing the PSAT, SAT. There's lots more to come, with one of the major tests happening shortly after spring break being the FSA. And for information on that, I'm going to ask Ms. DeCastro to give everyone the overview.
Thank you. So we actually have our FSA ELA Writing test scheduled for 9th graders on April 6th and 7th. It's a one-day test, but because of space, we are going to do half of the 9th graders on the 6th and the other half on the 7th. I'll be sending out emails to parents and students to know which date they will test. And then the 10th graders will test the week after, which is the 15th and 16th.
And the same thing with them. Each 10th grader only needs to be here for one day, but it'll be half the 10th grade one day and half the other.
Correct. Correct.
And I do want to point out to families, if those dates, like April 6th, I think you said was the first day for the 9th grade, if that sounds like a far way off, it's not. It's not the week we come back from break, but it's the week right after that. So April is upon us, believe it or not. So speaking of those tests, and we know those standardized tests can create some anxiety for students. Our students typically do very well, but it doesn't change the fact that they may feel some stressors. And of course, all of these tests are in person. And many of our students have been working almost exclusively remotely for more than a year. So the district has put together what they're referring to as their parent university to give some parents some guidelines around that. And again, to kind of update us on that also, again, Ms. DeCastro.
Yes, please mark your calendars for March 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. They will be holding the parent university on testing. It's called Testing 1, 2, 3. They're going to talk about safety and security protocols, how testing will be organized as a district, transportation, because I know we called a lot of you guys about transportation needs, test taking strategies and how to cope with stress. And then they're going to have a question and answer session as well. So I think that'll be a great opportunity for parents to kind of understand where we are as a district for testing this year, because students do need to take it. They'll probably talk about where it sits for different grade levels as necessity for our 9th and 10th graders and 11th graders. The tests that we're giving, some are graduation requirements, some are needed to earn credit in classes. So it's important that we get these kids in to take those tests. If you want to get more information, the website is browardschools.com/parent university. And March 31st from 6 to 8 again is the date of the session.
And I don't believe they have to register in advance, do they, to participate?
It doesn't say so, but if you can't make that one, what I see is all of the other parent universities that they've done, and there have been 4 this year, are also shown on that site, so you could catch a recording of it. But it would be good to catch it sooner instead of later, knowing that the week after is when our kids start testing.
Perfect. And I did also see that although the seminar is going to be conducted in English, I did see that closed captioning of it was going to be available in multiple languages, including Spanish, Haitian Creole, Chinese, Vietnamese, Portuguese, and Arabic, I think. There were 6 or 7.
They also have French as well.
Gotcha. So there's a number of languages for our parents who may prefer that in order to get the content more easily. So we encourage everyone to participate in that. Speaking of things we encourage our parents to participate in, there is, of course, the customer survey. And for that, we have Mr. Harris.
Thanks, Ms. Johnson. We mentioned one of our previous sessions about the customer service survey will be coming out. Well, it's actually out now, and there's 3 different groups of individuals that participate in the survey: our students, our staff, and you, our parents. So the students have done an amazing job, and the staff thus far, of responding to the survey. It's anonymous to us as far as who did it, but we will get the results back. So we can work on being a better part of the support system for you and for your students. But as far as the parents are concerned, the survey does ask you questions about your opinions about your child's school, including questions about teachers, administrators, and other aspects of your child's and their experiences at our schools. So your input is very important. So Mr. Castro has sent out emails to everyone, all of our parents, so they have an opportunity to do the survey. It only takes about 10 to 12 minutes to complete. So it's a small amount of time to complete the survey, but your input is very valuable and very important. So please take some time out between now and you got spring break. You have spring break too, hopefully, some form or format to get the survey completed. And we really, really appreciate and value your feedback.
That's great. And I also just want to emphasize, as Mr. Harris has just said, it is anonymous, and the district compiles the results both for district as a whole. They usually also then separate them out by level, in other words, high school, middle school, elementary school. And then, as Mr. Harris said, we do get the results just for our school. Usually takes a couple of months. It's usually the summer before we see those results, but we will get the anonymous aggregated results for all of our schools specifically. And we do look at those over the summer, and it helps us as we plan for the next year and plan for necessary changes or adjustments. So we really do appreciate everyone taking the time to do that.
Yes.
I would like to add as well, if for some reason you did not get the email from me, I did include the link at the bottom underneath last week's message, so they can still click in to get access to it. And if they did not get an email from me, if you did not get an email from me, please do send me one to let me know. LILLIE.DECASTRO@BrowardSchools.com. But let me know who your student is as well, because we need to get that corrected. We will validate it. We will make sure that that is really you for the student, and we will update our records to make sure you get information that you need.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Also coming up when we come back from spring break, not quite as quickly as the FSA, but shortly thereafter, will be our advanced placement testing, our AP testing. And for that update, again, we have Mr. Castro.
Thank you. So after spring break, I keep trying to call it the wrong break, we will send out the individual test dates for all of the AP tests. But the first test will take place in May. Which sounds far away, but it's really not that far. Most of those tests are going to be digital tests that are taken at home. And we're going to encourage students to do it at home because they are at strange times for our school day. That most of those tests are digitally at noon or 4 p.m., which brings a challenge for getting home after school or getting home in time in the middle of the school day or as it goes. So we just want to prepare you for that. That information will be going out to parents, to students after we return. There are a couple that will be on campus because that's just how that test is structured. But we will be in a longer testing window for AP this year. It will begin for us on May 6th and end for us on June 3rd.
Oh,
so
wow.
It goes very widely.
It's usually 2 weeks tops.
Correct, but there are 3 different combinations of things, and we looked at students who are testing in multiple exams, so that they're not. Some of them would have them in tests from noon until 7 p.m. if we didn't stagger it a little bit differently, which after a morning in class can become a really long day.
Absolutely. Okay. And a reminder to students and parents that many of our AP teachers are running AP test prep sessions. All you need to do is reach directly out to the teacher in question to find out if they're doing it under what schedule. And again, you don't have to be in the class currently. If you took the class in the fall and you're looking for a refresher, reach out to those teachers to find out what refresher opportunities might be available to you. Okay. As as we are entering the home stretch of the year, our yearbook staff is also in the process of wrapping up all of the work for the yearbook. Very unusual year, very unusual way they've gone about it. And they are still seeking pictures, both of underclassmen and seniors. And for that information, I turn it over to Mr. Harris.
Thanks again, Ms. Johnson. Yes, so many students have already submitted their photos, but we still need quite a few. So to our students, yearbooks are precious and they're memories that most people have. I have my yearbook back from I won't say the year, but I have my yearbook and I go back and look at it. So we do want a photo from the students that the students could take just a headshot of themselves, appropriate photo that we can put in the yearbook, because those are important memories that we would love to have from the students. And you send that photo in a JPEG format to our yearbook sponsor, and that's Mr. Wood. So you can send to David, DAVID.Wood, WOOD, at browardschools.com, and we'll upload it to make sure that your photo is included in the yearbook. So it's very important. We like to see you. I mean, those are great memories. And also to our seniors, Ms. Johnson mentioned weeks ago in one of our meetings that we have our own photography program here. So we have a studio that's like a professional studio, and the output is also very professional. So many of our seniors are coming in, they're taking their senior photos here on campus, they're making their appointments. So if you have not done that, please, you need to reach out to our photography instructor, Ms. Danielle McColgin, to get your photo taken, get your appointment put together. So we're having about 5 to 7 students coming a day, because they have to take time to clean up everything from CDC guidelines and make sure the room is safe, it's clean at all times. So please make that appointment. If you haven't already, reach out to Mr. Wood as well if you need to get that appointment taken care of. So those are important things that we need to do.
And how do they reach out to either Mr. Wood or Ms. McColgin?
Well, I would say Mr. Wood, he's going to actually coordinate the photos. So to him, David, like I said, David.Wood at browardschools.com, and he'll work with Mrs. McColgin to get your appointment scheduled.
Perfect. And you may not want to say it, but I will say I as well have all of my yearbooks from years 1981 through 1984, and I love pulling them all out, and I get a good laugh at all the big hair. So
yes,
I only have my senior one, and I regret not getting the first 3. So
yeah, I have all of mine, and I love them dearly. Love the notes from classmates at the time, but I definitely get 1980s were great for many things.
They were great. Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
I get a nice little chuckle looking back at those for sure. You mentioned senior photos. Also for seniors, we've got some information regarding senior events coming up. We know this has been a year unlike any other, and both the district and the school have been hoping very much that we would be able to provide our seniors a few of the more traditional experiences that come with senior year. Many of our seniors last year basically missed out on a lot. And so the district has been working, as a school we've been working, and of course the senior class and senior officers have been working as well. And I know as a result that Mr. Harris has some information about prom.
Yeah, so prom, we will have a prom. So last year, unfortunately, the seniors did not have that prom, and we are going to have one, but guess what? It's going to look a little different for obvious reasons, but it's something that our students want to have, and I'm sure some of the parents want their students to experience this event as well. So our prom will take place on May the 8th. And it will take place on our campus. Now, I said, on campus, instead of a nice fancy venue or ballroom, I promise you, our students, the advisors are working hard with vendors to create a very memorable experience for our students. So when they probably come here, they won't recognize it as the traditional McFatter area, but it's going to be an outdoor combination, outdoor indoor event, so the students are safe, they're socially distanced, they'll have their music, they'll have some, a nice event. So they're still working on all the details, but they're working with vendors to make this special for the students. So please, parents, encourage your seniors to participate, because they'll have some amazing stories to tell, that their senior prom was so unique, so nice that, no one else would be able to talk about. So please encourage them, and more information will be coming out to all the seniors. They'll get updates from their sponsors and their teachers as well about specifics and getting taken care of for the prom.
Great. And I know probably following along with that, people are wondering about senior awards and graduation. So senior awards, and I believe we mentioned it in a prior week's message, we will have a senior awards ceremony. It will be a drive-in awards ceremony like we did last year in the west parking lot of the mall. I can't remember off the top of my head the date. Do either of you remember it?
We did not finalize it. We actually talked about it again today. We are leaning towards the end of May. Our challenge is exam week, plus the last day of seniors is now June 4th. So we're trying to nail down a day in that window. So we're aiming for the last 10 days of school for seniors. That's the answer I can best give at the moment.
Gotcha. And my guess is, you know, when we talk about what we're aiming for, the specifics of it we should have for you shortly after spring break.
That is correct.
Graduation, we also expect announcements to come about that shortly after we return from spring break. We do not set our graduation date or location. All graduations are set by the district. So we're waiting on the district. The superintendent has made it clear that the goal is to provide some sort of in-person graduation, probably modified, probably most likely limited attendance so that we can ensure there's social distancing, but they do want to be able to provide some form of in-person graduation. And again, we expect those announcements to come out from the district shortly after we return from spring break. And other than that, and just mentioning that we are about to go into spring break today, as I mentioned, today was the last day for students. Tomorrow is a teacher work day. So staff will be working tomorrow, but then everybody is off all next week, including most of our staff. We'll have a few people here on campus doing some facilities work. I usually work over spring break, but I actually took it off as vacation this year. I know you two will be off. We hope our students and families get some rest and relax and enjoy it. We will be back on Monday, March 29th. That's why we said April, and testing is right around the corner. And I also want to mention the week we come back, that week, that Friday is also no school for students. So we have all next week off for spring break. We come back on Monday, March 29th, Friday, April 2nd. All of the students are off again that day. We obviously will not have a weekly message next week because we three will be enjoying our spring break. So we will be back next with a message on Thursday, April Fool's Day, April 1st. So don't look for a message from us next week and enjoy the time. Mr. Harris, Mr. Castro, did we have anything else we wanted to go over?
I think that's all. So if you email any of us, it might take us a week or so to answer. Just so
yeah. Yeah, people may not be checking their emails over spring break. So, and we really encourage everyone, step back. We all need those breaks. Everyone needs that time to just take some deep breaths. I know for me, it will be the joy of not waking to an alarm every day for 9 straight days. I am not known as a morning person, so that alone is a joyous occasion to me. But we do hope everyone has the opportunity to just sort of rest and recharge here as we go into the home stretch of this very challenging and very unusual year. So with that, we will sign off. We will see you back here in 2 weeks on April 1st. Have a wonderful spring break, and we'll talk to you in April.
Right.
Bye, you two.
Take care.